It's time for the College Hockey Show! And now here's your host, Jeremiah Maxwell, and the degenerate Bostonian, Mike Warino.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the College Hockey Show. Heavy hearts. We had a lot of people pass away this weekend. We had Barstool Beef, the guy from the Foreplay podcast. He passed away unexpectedly. I'm not a golfer, so I didn't follow that, so that was very sad. But Nick Mangold from the Jets, retired Jets player, really good player, and seemed like a class act. I wish the Giants had him for a lot of years because, hey, I feel like they haven't had a good center since Bart Oates or Jumbo Elliott but for me personally, real quick, and I just want to say to everybody, thank you on TikTok and everybody that's watching. I had a good friend, Patrick Francis Megan, Sergeant Major, retired, 7-time Bronze Star recipient, 3 with Valor, died of cancer this weekend. And I probably don't have my military career if it wasn't for Pat. He was from Quincy, Massachusetts. He was a big hockey fan, and I introduced him to the EA NHL game. So when he came to live with me in 2008 for a little while and he moved back to Alaska, I got him on NHL, and I would come home and every day he'd be playing it. He loved it. So guy spent 30 straight months in Afghanistan. Had a price on his head from the Taliban, but just, you know, he was in the 70s, got out, became a postal worker, worked in Harvard Square area, went back to Boston, then decided he wanted to go back in the military. So anyway, Pat, I love you. I hope you're in a better place. I'm so sad. We just were in Arizona. We tried to reach out to see him, but he wasn't doing well, and they didn't want to see anybody. And in some regards, I'm not sad because I always remember him as a pretty full life guy. I didn't see him the last few years when he was wilting away at cancer, but I always kept him in my heart. And yeah, I mean, he was an incredible person. So rest in peace, Patrick Francis Megan. Well, on that note, Mike, let's get into some hockey talk for the college hockey.
Yeah.
You had a pretty interesting weekend. Sacred Heart over OSU. Clarkson beats Nodak. Merrimack spanks Quinnipiac. Western hands Michigan their first loss. UConn beating BU. You were at that game. I think BU was up 4-2 or something, and they lost 8-4.
Yep.
Pretty wild. And then UMD swept Minnesota. So our friend Big Willie, sorry about that. Minnesota guys.
It was a wild weekend. 10 of the top 20 lost, 7 of them to unranked opponents. Denver put up a touchdown on BC. I was there for that too. That 7-3 beatdown. It's a lot of hockey this weekend, a lot of craziness. I'm going to highlight the fact that Clarkson just got their second top 10 win. Team I thought was good. Did not see them getting 2 top 10 wins, but oh my God, look out for the Knights. Could they be a third team that sneaks in for the ECAC? I know if the season ended this year, Cornell and Quinnipiac could be going, but we're only a few weeks in, and most of the ECAC teams haven't had a game yet. But definitely Clarkson, a team that surprised me the most. Shout out to Stonehill, by the way, Division III school, 2,500 students taking Penn State to overtime.
Yeah.
Happy Valley.
Penn State struggled with some middling competition there with between Long Island. I thought they didn't really run over them. I mean, I think they're going to be fine in the end, but you
lost to UNH, who's projected to be the last place team in Hockey East, projected to be a bottom 40. Long Island 2, and then I don't know. An empty net goal gets you a 4-2 win the next night. Like, you were losing to Stonehill at the end of the first period twice. So I am seeing the 2019 Wisconsin Badgers in them, and I am concerned. Big Ten plays coming up. You're not. That conference is a meat grinder every year. But I think it's great the parity we got right now. As I said, 10 of the top 20 teams lost. I mean, I look at BU and UConn. You lost to each other. You're still in the top 20. Western Michigan and Michigan, you're both also in the top 20. Or you're even in the top 5. So like, yeah, all right, fine. But the other 8, 7 of you lost to unranked opponents. And
yeah, let's. I mean, I know we started the show on a kind of a downer note with my friend passing away, and obviously all the famous athletes and stuff that passed away over the weekend. But let's talk about the top 20 wins, because that was the top of your list. Denver beating BC 7-3. That's a real quality win for Denver, and they kind of had been stifling their first couple of games. It felt like they. Did you get to watch any of that game or recap it? What were your thoughts on that?
Yep. So being there, I will say Bruins picks actually looked phenomenal. I'm gonna cheese them a little bit. Gassel got a goal. Hagen's looked great, but he got planted a couple times. I think he's overplayed. I think their coach runs the top 2 lines a little too much. Letourneau got an assist. Stiga had a nice goal, and it was from Mitten, who's another Bruins pick. So, like, overall, in the 3 goals, 5 Bruins had impact on the play. So, good sign for the black and gold. For BC,
Stiga, I think Stiga is going to be a hell of a player. Real quick on Letourneau.
Nice.
For a team that lose 7-3 and Letourneau be even, that's pretty good. That's a good sign, Letourneau. And he's a sophomore that probably shouldn't have played last year at all. So that's good. And he had 17 minutes of ice time. So that's really good for Bruins fans, since I'm repping the Bobby Orr for Patrick Megan, my friend, who was a big Boston everything fan, Patriots too. I didn't have a Patriots hat, so I'll wear the Red Sox hat, and I'll wear the Bruins jersey to support Pat. But yeah, I mean, if I'm a Bruins fan, I'm excited about Letourneau in 2 or 3 years. I think he's going to be a hell of a player, especially with that body size. He's going to be unstoppable when that kid learns how to play hockey, with that size of body. And by then he'll have grown into it. Quinnipiac beat Merrimack, but Merrimack beat Quinnipiac on the turnaround. So our friend Mike McMahon, who covers Merrimack, I'm excited about Merrimack. Could Merrimack be in a tournament team? What do you think? Or
this is the same Merrimack team I had last year, and I sit there and go, "You beat Quinnipiac, awesome. You lost to Vermont." I'm like, which team is it? Make up your mind, boys. I'm going to say no. Just simply lack of inconsistency. I will say Hockey East is pretty weak this year. So, like, they were projected a 6. I think they could sneak into a 4. That gets them a first-round bye and a home game. I always say, come tournament time or conference tournament time, especially, home ice is huge. Well, now all of a sudden you win at home, and now you're at the Garden. Anything can happen at the Garden.
Yeah.
So, they got to make a run at the end of the season. They got to get hot. They got to get consistent. The good thing about this Merrimack team, for the Warrior fans out there, Mike McMahon, you obviously know this, a lot of youth. They're not losing a whole lot of bodies this year. Goalie's got his first year. Their 3 goalies are in their first years of eligibility. The starter's got his second year as eligibility. But you get 4 to 5 years, depending if you appeal for your 5th. You've got a guy like Gill, who actually played minor league hockey already. He's on fire. He's got this year and next available for him. So, I mean, they've got guys that are coming back next season. So I don't think so, but I'm not counting them out. Yeah. But you have sparks of greatness, and then we lost to Vermont. And I'm like, what did you do? Why did you get crushed? I don't know. They're a team that makes me scratch my head a lot. But the Quinnipiac, I'm going to fire back with, you guys have the most goals out of anyone this year. And
we know what they can do defensively, especially when and by the way, if you guys didn't get to see it today, shout out to Morning Cup of Hockey guys. They had Rand Pecknold, the head coach of Quinnipiac, on. So if you're a Quinnipiac fan, definitely check that interview out with Colby and Johnny Lazarus. It was really good. I think they had come off the loss on Saturday, right? They lost Saturday to Merrimack 4-1 when they beat them Friday 4-1. So flip-flop, but I think it's pretty common to see splits in these games, right? So hey, Kevin, what's going on? Appreciate you being with us, and
So,
all the people on TikTok appreciate you too. If you don't see me respond on TikTok, just realize we're gonna work that. We're working on that TikTok, getting that squared away. So appreciate y'all very much. So
no, I'm excited for Quinnipiac because every year I go, they don't have enough offense. They don't have enough offense, and now they've got offense. They got a lot.
And we know what their attention to detail and defensive game is like. Penn State being Stonehill. Okay, they should have done that. Obviously, I don't think we need to spend too much time on that. Michigan State sweeping Northern Michigan. I think we know that Michigan State is very close to being the class of they're number one, right? So they're very close to being the class of college hockey. I had them as a Final Four team, a Frozen Four team last year. So, and I saw some of their fans. I think they're expecting that. Wisconsin sweeped Alaska. That's University of Alaska Fairbanks. I think the St. Cloud beat UAA. They swept them too. So, and then Michigan and Western Michigan split. I think that's a fair thing. I think Michigan probably felt pretty good about the first win, and that was a Thursday-Friday turnaround. So that was pretty good, right? So
I will say I've actually noticed I like the Thursday-Friday when they give me a big matchup like that because then it's the only game on. I can go watch it, and then Friday I'm not like, oh man, should I watch this? Oh, I saw that one Thursday, and I can watch this Friday.
And it is tough. We're live for the game or part of the game, so yeah, it is tough for that. So, okay, let's talk about the top 20 losses. We did kind of delve into this a little bit. 10 of the top 20 lost this week, as you said. Nodak losing to Clarkson. That one is a surprise to me.
5-2, and then I'll reiterate. Nodak did win Saturday, 1-0. It's not like they blew him away. Like they were a post away from going OT, and I don't know. Clarkson, two top 10 wins this year, loving it. Nodak, maybe it was a bad weekend for you guys. Everyone has a bad one. I'm going to note that North Dakota in the last 2 seasons is 1-3 against the ECAC. So
I mean
something to be there. I don't know.
Well, new coach, right? New coach in North Dakota. I think he's going to have a little bit of leeway early in the season. I think we give note. I expect them to be a tournament team this year. I'd be really surprised if they're not. But they got to win these games, right? And for them to lose 5-2 and then barely beat them on this, and they scored in the second period for those. But yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. For the Nodak fans, I wonder, you got to be a little bit tenuous. I mean, always competing for all those years and never kind of coming up short. So
I look at Denver in particular, who's like Clarkson is the most physical team I've ever seen. Maybe Long Island Cornell would be up there as well. Maybe not the most skilled, but the most physical. Denver is very physical, and they're in your conference. I'm looking at the Pioneers. I think they're licking their chops when they see North Dakota on their schedule.
Well, but speaking of that, let's just jump right into it. Denver lost to Northeastern.
Yeah, but you smacked BC.
But again, we talk about, I think Northeastern is one of the most underrated hockey programs in all of the United States. I think they always field a great team. And they always play tough. I mean, they're like Providence, you know?
Yes. Northeastern, I got to watch them on the rerun, and they took Denver's game and shoved it down their throats, threw it right back at them.
They're 3-1-0, by the way, on the year. Northeastern.
Yeah. So and again, Northeastern this year is supposed to suck, and they're not. They didn't get the memo. They're supposed to be bad.
I'm telling you, man, I think this NIL is bringing a lot of these teams, the haves and the have-nots. You're seeing the same thing in college football. They're teams that, you know, Penn State gets dollywopped by freaking UCLA. Like, I mean, and then UCLA gets dollywopped by Indiana. And Indiana used to be a basketball school, and they're undefeated, top 3 in the country. So, I mean, they have a good coach and stuff, but it's wild. Anyway, I don't want to go down the college football road. But Maine losing to Colgate. And they had a close one again the second day. They went to overtime. I think Maine is in trouble this year.
Yes.
Something about Maine feels.
I don't get it either.
Wrong.
You lost Holt. You lost number one defenseman. I get it. But that's all you lost. You lost a couple fourth liners. You should be able to replace a fourth liner. You lost McCarr, who
this isn't Kale.
You needed to. It should be a good main team.
Yeah, I think McCarr's brother is probably an AHL player.
Yeah, he was a 7th round picked by the Avs. I mean,
he's not going to play in the league unless he really develops his game in the next couple of years.
They'll give him a couple charity games. That's probably going to be it. And
that might be because of who his brother is. No offense, but anyway.
No, that's why Jay's brother got picked by New Jersey. They gave him a couple charity games and
because dude, wouldn't you though? Because look at how hard Jay worked to stay.
Right. Oh, Jay was awesome.
Yeah, guy was freaking. I mean, I don't know. Was he on 2 Stanley Cup teams? I mean,
3.
Oh yeah, was he on the '94 team too?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize he played that long. Wow.
Yeah, and then he almost got one with the Bruins. For his last year, that dude was
that would have been cool, man. To be from there and win, that would have been cool. And I bet you a lot of Bruins fans be wearing Pandolfo jerseys just because I know how BU, their fan base. Like Colby said today, they'd have him on their show, but he's like, I want to wait for them to get their shit together. So, and I agree with that, Colby. And again, what I'd like to see with them specifically is just have some of those kids stay longer. I think it would just benefit them. Just stay another year, and let BU be a powerhouse. I mean, because they're like Kentucky right now, the one and dones, Kentucky basketball. Anyway, okay. Minnesota getting swept by UMD. And I know my Big Willie retweeted it. Thank you, Big Willie. I hope you're listening on one of these platforms. Big Minnesota Golden Gophers fan. Dude, I'm concerned if I'm this Golden Gophers. Yep. This is not a good start. And they're 2-5-1. 2-5-1, dude. It's getting late early for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. If they miss the tournament, this could be the Moskoff out the door cough. So
I mean, losing their top line from last year hurts. All 3 gone. They went pro. Defensive wise, you returned 4 starters. I think they kept the goalie too. So I'm like, all right. But I think they were rated too high coming in for what they had.
Dude, to me, doesn't it feel like they should just be the best team or second best team or third best or fourth best team every fucking year? You're in the state of hockey. You have the most high school hockey players. You have the highest level of players in the U.S. And it doesn't mean you can't get guys from other states to come play for you.
No, not at all.
So I don't get it, man.
I don't either. You're in your backyard. You're not too far from Canada. You can go poach kids there. I know you guys have scouts at the Massachusetts high school tournaments. I've seen them there. You're there. I know you. The Big Ten rents out a whole suite. Every single Big Ten school rents out a suite at center ice for the Massachusetts state tournament, and they see all 8 games played. So don't tell me you don't see it. And Mass is number 2.
Our resident St. Louis Blues fan, Kevin Shee, is bringing up that Snuggerud's gone. Yeah, that's fair. And Snuggerud was there 4 years, and it is hard to replace a guy like Snuggerud. But to me, they should have 5 Snuggeruds on that team. And just loaded for bear, the next guy. I mean, the most storied, arguably the most, now that Denver's won the most, but the most storied college hockey team of all time in Minnesota, right there with Michigan and Denver, should be up there, should be competing for championships every year with the amount of talent that comes out of Minnesota. So I'm with you. I would be very, very nervous if I was Minnesota. Denver, we talked about that one already. I think Denver will be there in the end, but because Northeastern is not a bad team, but
no, I think right now it looks like a bad loss, and I am with you. I think that's going to, at the end of the year, you're like, oh, Northeastern's knocking on the tournament door here. And all of a sudden, that's not a bad loss.
UMass losing to Omaha. Where were you at on that one? Because I didn't think we thought UMass was going to be much this year, but they have a pretty good record.
Yeah, I think, well, the important thing is, one, UMass did win when we needed them to win for our lock of the week. But day number 2, you got crushed. I thought they'd be above 500 and nothing more. Preseason, they were number 10. I thought they were too high.
5-2. 5-2.
Yeah. I think Hockey East is weak this year, and I think the pairwise is fluffing it up too much. I think the West Coast crowd is going to be screaming East Coast biased, and I'm going to back them 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the West Coast crowd is Arizona State.
Yeah.
Like, we need more teams in the Western Hemisphere of the United States. This is a problem with ice, too. I was reading a story, just not to get off topic, but like certain teams in these, like the Dallas Stars control a lot of the ice in Texas because they own a lot of the ice. So kind of what they, same in LA, the Kings have a lot of ice in that area, you know. So I do think that getting some colleges with some ice to help develop some of the youth stuff, to add additional ice stuff, like seeing UCLA, USC, those teams getting college hockey would be unreal. And USC is a private school. You know, you can't tell me they wouldn't do well getting people to go play college. You want to live in LA and play hockey? Good God, who doesn't want
Oregon gets 8,000 people for a club hockey game.
Right? Why don't they have Division I hockey? Like, and you're telling me, oh, it's because of Title IX. Well, had a women's team then. What the hell are you doing?
Like,
you're gonna tell me that girls that play hockey in Western Canada don't want to be closer to home? Like, to me, University of Washington, Oregon, all those teams make sense. Do you have professional hockey in all those areas? Hell, you got Seattle and Vancouver are a stone's throw from each other, 2 NHL franchises. So anyway, I'll beat that dead horse till it's over. We talked about BU and UConn splitting already. I am not concerned about UMass. I think they're way better than I expected them to be. The broomsticks, we kind of discussed those already. I don't know where you're at with any. I don't. Was any one of those a shocker for you as far as who got swept? Or
Duluth, Minnesota was definitely a surprise. I didn't think that.
But UMD. Thank you, John. I saw that and I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Johnny.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I hope you're doing well, man. I know your Leafs are kind of struggling, so. Yeah, I just you went 2 for 2 for picks too. Okay,
yeah,
let's talk about the concerns and upsides. Penn State barely escaped Stonehill at home. Will they survive Big Ten play? I don't know, because who's dominating in the Big Ten right now? And I just think Michigan is good, but that's not going to restrict Penn State from making the tournament, though. Like, if they don't beat Michigan, no big deal.
Right, but if you don't beat Michigan, you don't beat Michigan State. I think I think Sacred Heart had a fluky game. I think Ohio State's going to come back real hard. And I look at those 3 teams, I'm like, oh, all right, there's 10 games between those 3. And I think right now, you lose 8 of them between those 10. So, all right, you're 2-8. All right, you get 2 tournament wins, and your goals against sucks. And okay, you beat Minnesota, but I don't know if Minnesota right now, Minnesota will not be making the tournament, because I think they're going to get their heads kicked in too. And yeah, you beat Notre Dame, who may not go 500. All of a sudden, you're like, well, what have you done? And you're like, where are your tournament wins? Oh, you beat Michigan once, you beat Michigan State once, and your losses.
KU does not have a hockey team, Kevin. They don't. Kentucky University or Kentucky or Kansas, whoever you're asking, they don't have a hockey team.
Yeah, they have clubs, I'm sure, but nothing.
Yeah,
they should.
Yeah,
definitely have the money to go pro.
Alabama has a club team. Florida has a club team. Georgia has a club team. A lot of schools have club hockey, but they don't have Division I or whatever. No. So,
but I'm hitting the panic button on Penn State. I said it a couple times. When we interviewed Mike, I said I saw glimpses of 2019 Wisconsin where there's too many mouths to feed, and I think we're seeing that. And I think for a guy like Gavin McKenna, I think the money's going to his head. I'm sure there's a lot of other things going to him. And I don't know if hockey's his number one right now because he is a liability in his defensive end.
Well, I just think I think here's the news call. This is what I think a lot of people that are big junior advocates, I heard people saying he was going to dominate the NCAA and lead the nation in scoring, and they just don't understand that it's a man's game, and it is a very high level of hockey, and you have 24-year-olds playing on some of these teams. So he ain't playing against 24-year-olds in the Western Hockey League. I don't care how tough and big and bad they say it is. It is nothing compared to college hockey. Now, yeah, they don't play the rigorous schedule. That makes it even harder because the guys are tough and they recover. And they, that's so I did not think for one second. In fact, if you're asking me, when I saw him play, I thought he looked a little slight. And I do think he is a little bit of a liability in his own end. I'll say this, though, and I heard Craig Button say this on Frank Saravelli's show today. There's a lot of players nowadays that don't know how to work in their own end right away. So I just think it's wild. So,
I'll say this. I'm going to add, I talked to a couple of the Providence Friars healthy scratches and, I'm like, hey guys, what do you do on, your week schedule? Quick rundown. Sundays are usually an off day, film, team lunch, stuff like that. Mondays, you're on the ice for 2 hours, but you're in the weight room for 4. Right? You got 4 hours of pounding the weights. Tuesday, same story. Wednesday, same story. And if it's a home game, Thursdays, it's a nice light skate, lots of stretching and, whatever. But if you're traveling, Thursdays, you're off. And again, you're getting stretched out in the hotels, but you're not doing that in any of the juniors. You're not doing 3 days of intense powerlifting. That's not happening. And you don't, maybe you have the trainers. I don't know. You don't have the meal plans. You don't have the nutrition. They all have, Providence has 1 person to 5 players or 6 players on the team for dietitian. Are you telling me a 6-on-1 dietitian? Are you kidding me?
Hey, Derek, how's it going? Yeah, I think people were naive to the fact that that they didn't realize how high level U.S. college hockey is. Yeah. And there's a reason that NHL scouts are lining up the door in places like Quinnipiac to sign undrafted guys. Colin Graff, look at all these guys. Who's the guy playing in Dallas? That I think he was a Northeastern guy.
He was Williams.
No. No, it's a funky name. Metachlorian. I want to say Metachlorian, but that's like a Star Wars thing. I don't know.
No, he's named after the grocery store here.
No. Here, I'll just pull up Dallas Stars roster, and I'll tell you exactly who it is, because every time I watch him now, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy, I remember him, and I was like, oh, the cat, and Colby Cohen and I had a Justin Hirokian. He's a Quebec kid actually too. He's from Quebec, but he was undrafted college guy. So, but he went to college here. So, and the guy he's 5'11", 198. He's not big, but he developed his game. God, I wish I could tell you what Hockey East all team East second all-star team in 2023. God, what college did he go to? Why doesn't it tell you? Texas hockey. What are you doing? Why aren't you putting that you remember Hirokian? I thought he was a Northeastern guy.
Yeah, no, he was a winger over there.
He did go to Northeastern.
Yeah, he was a grinder.
Yeah, but he's like the guy's a defensive stalwart, all that. Anyway, not to get into it, but I'm not surprised that McKenna is not doing great. Yeah, Darkness. This fair though, you live in you're a St. Louis guy, right? Darkness. He said he hasn't paid to college hockey this season. All I know is the Gophers are not doing well. Yes, I won't say what you said online, but yes. Yeah, we already talked about the Gophers. They're struggling. By the way, man, we got like 50 people in here. So Hot Take Hockey, thank you for retweeting us. Appreciate you, John. Appreciate you. Especially with the World Series going on. Appreciate all you guys who want to talk college hockey with us here. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole, but the new rankings, I was looking for the NCAA rankings. You sent them to me. Any shocks with the changes? I don't think there's any big
I'm questioning why Penn State's still top 5.
They're top 4, but they're
top 4.
7-1. They're 7-1. The problem is they're winning the games they're supposed to win. They're going to drop if they lose to good teams. I think it's just too early in the season to get too worked up about it. I get what you're saying, and that their one loss isn't great. And maybe UMD, you'd like to see them a little bit higher, especially after beating the Gophers. But Minnesota is still ranked in the top 20, and they're 2-5-1. And Cornell's 20th. They haven't played a game, so the rankings don't mean much now, right? I mean, I'll put the rankings on the screen for you guys.
What I do like is like a team like Quinnipiac, they're playing a full schedule where a lot of the ECAC teams are not. Like a team like Clarkson's getting a couple games earlier. Cornell's getting a game or two early. But Quinnipiac's playing a full 30, and that will matter come pairwise, and guys, that kicks in really after Thanksgiving, more or less after Christmas, really. And we'll do a whole special on that. But
we'll just go for the people listening real quick, Mike, just for the people listening, just for edification. And obviously the people on TikTok can't see the screen that we're showing on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram. But Michigan State's number 1, 45 first place votes. Nobody's going to argue that. I think Michigan State has far and away been. It's going to be real fun when Michigan State play, because Michigan's number 2 and they're 7-1, and number 3 is Western Michigan. So as Michigan is joking, the new state of hockey is Michigan. Penn State 4, Boston University. By the way, Boston University being top 5 is kind of a joke to me too. 3-3-1. Denver 3-2-1. Quinnipiac 5-2-1. Nodak 4-2-0. And Nodak had a pretty big loss. And UMD swept Minnesota and they're up to 10. BC 2-2-1. Maine 3-2-1. UMass, Wisconsin, Colorado College, Providence, Ohio State, Minnesota State, Minnesota, and Cornell. But again, we got a lot of teams with sub 500 records and not any conference play or anything. Some teams, obviously, the Ivy League schools haven't even started play. So Cornell dropped and they didn't even play a game. So.
Yeah, that's like that's what I mean. I look at like a team like BU, I'm like, all right, 3-3-1. Your losses are to Michigan State twice, and then UConn. So I'm like, all right, and then your wins are against Long Island. They did beat UConn and RPI. So I'm like, you don't have a good. Well, UConn's a good one. I shouldn't say that, but you have 2 joke wins and you have 3, I guess, good losses. But like I'm hitting the panic button, as we talked about earlier in the Gophers. I'm hitting the panic button on Penn State.
I think Maine too. Maine is concerning.
Maine, yes. Yeah, you can't, like, again, you're like, oh, they have a winning record. Well, you just lost to Colgate.
Yeah, who are not ranked. Yeah.
And will not be ranked.
Yeah. So. I'm concerned. Yeah. So, okay. You went 2 for 2 on the weekend, which is good. Because you can't afford to lose money right now.
No.
Did I miss anything else?
No, I think it's funny. This is the second week in a row DraftKings didn't post on a Saturday, so that was interesting. Didn't have a single game I could have wanted to. Found that weird. But all right, just something to keep an eye on. Other than that, kind of excited for Thursday's game lineup. I'm not going to lie.
Well, let's talk a little bit. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that since we aren't going to be live until Thursday. So if there's some games that you want to talk about for that day, okay.
I like the so a fun rivalry game. Granted, it's the 2 never the strongest teams. They call it the Catholic War, Sacred Heart and Holy Cross.
Nice.
It's a fun one. Sacred Heart just beat Ohio State. Holy Cross.
We did have Dartmouth play Norwich today, by the way, if we didn't talk about that.
Oh, yeah. That's Norwich's season opener.
Yeah, Dartmouth beat the pants off them 6-0. By the way, a handful of guys in the NHL played for Dartmouth, too. I know.
Yeah. I'm going to highlight Norwich is a Division III team. Very good Division III team, but they are D3.
Yeah, it's Division III. That's not fair. Okay, so Thursday. It says Thursday, October 30th, no games.
Oh my God! Did I type in the wrong date? I may have, but no, I will be at Northeastern and BC on the 30th. I just bought those tickets. Pretty stoked about that.
No. Okay, Sacred Cross, Sacred Heart, and Sacred Cross. Sorry, people. Sacred Heart and Holy Cross do play Thursday, Atlantic
Yeah.
hockey. We have 4 games. We have a bunch of games. We have Penn State and Ohio State. That's going to be interesting.
This
will be the first kind of test for Penn State and their conference, right?
I like Ohio State and I want a lot. I think they are for real. I think it pains me to say it, Blue Nation. I think they're a sleepy. There's that one team that should never be in the Frozen Four, but somehow they get a good bracket and get there.
Yeah.
I think
Ohio State could be there too, man.
Well, that's my pick. That's Ohio State. I think they're in. I'm sorry, Blue Nation.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Here's another one, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin's looked solid. Like, we expect Wisconsin to be good. The Wisconsin's had good players in the past. You imagine if J.J. Watt played hockey? Because he did in high school.
Wisconsin offered him a scholarship. A lot of people don't realize
when you want that guy on skates, oh my God, stop.
Would have killed people.
He would have been the best player ever. I mean, just ridiculous. You imagine that guy clashing with Chara? Oh my God, unbelievable.
Oh, I would have been sick.
Pat Meegan, rest in peace, would have loved it. Anyway, yeah. So I'm really excited to see what happens in Minnesota, Wisconsin. That is a 8 Eastern start time, so that game will be on or when we're live. So maybe we do a little pop in and check on it if it's being broadcast. It does say Big Ten Network is going to have it. So Big Ten Plus, which means that they usually can watch it on YouTube. So because they show that YouTube TV, if you have YouTube TV with a sports package, and then Sacred Cross, Sacred Heart, Holy Cross. Sorry again, Catholics. That is on Flow Hockey, so you will be able to watch that. And then Northeastern Boston College, ESPN has that game. So
I'll be there.
Yeah, and you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there. I'll be rocking my brand new Hades
I like
Northeastern.
Jersey. I like Northeastern on that.
I do too.
Yeah.
And BC fans, I do want to remind you guys who beat the pants off you 6-2 on your home ice last year. Boston College. Northeastern beat the living crap out of you on your own ice.
Yeah, and the last game, real quick, exhibition game, Maryville, Long Island. We've already seen Long Island play. They're 2-5-0. They did play Penn State tough. Kevin in the chat did ask how sick Gavin McKinnon is. Look, Kevin, he looks great offensively, but he's going to struggle in his own end for a while because I just don't think he has the toughness to hang with that level of skill that he's going to play against. And look, teams can scheme you. The more they learn about this guy, I'm sure a lot of college teams aren't watching Western Hockey League. I'm sorry, I don't remember who he played for last year. I forgot my mind on who he was playing. So, but
to go on to anyone in the chat, Kevin included, there's a lot of film watched. I said I talked to the Providence guys. They're watching film 4 days leading up to the game. And, I'm a season ticket holder for those who don't know, so I get to talk to them a lot more. I get access to stuff like that. So you'll see me reference Providence a lot this season. But they're not the biggest budget team. Like in my area, in Massachusetts area, your big budget teams are Amherst, UMass Lowell, BUBC. Those are the 4 big ones. Northeastern as well. And so
you can throw Providence in there. They're so close to Massachusetts.
But budget-wise, I have to separate them. Just the tier difference, it's almost 20%. And if Providence is doing it 4 days a week, if they're also getting the weight training 4 days a week and the nutritionist, what are the big boys doing? What is a team like Arizona State, who schemed them really, really well? Michigan State, who was almost double the budget as UMass Amherst and UMass Lowell. Michigan, who again double the budget as BUBC.
Yeah,
they're gonna be ready for it.
I'll just say this: I think it's going to be must-watch television for those games. And thank God if you got the Big Ten, those will be on those channels, hopefully, and we won't be looking for them. Like I couldn't find Nodak, Minnesota, which was heartbreaking. But UMD looks good, Avi, and they swept. And did you call that? Did you get up with Avi this weekend? Was he with you at the game? So
no, I wasn't with Avi this weekend. We were at the same game. I don't know how we missed each other, but I will say to the NCAA,
big time and again. He's BU should not be at 5. I think we agree. I think we agree that they should not be at 5 right now.
What's saving BU is you took Michigan State to overtime, and I think they're getting a lot of love for that.
It's
And you
too
did
early
beat-
in
you
the
did
year
beat
to get
UConn.
too worked up about it, though.
Yeah. No, but I will
So-
say to the NCHC, can you guys broadcast your games nationally, please? Like, give us a network we can watch on YouTube.
I don't
You
care
have
if you can
great
stream it on
games.
the freaking YouTube, man. Who cares?
Yeah,
Let the
give me
student
something.
broadcast it, but get it out there for the fans. I'll tell you what, if you put it on free and you put it on the internet for free, you're going to grow a fan base because the PWHL's fans are growing because you can watch the games for free. So look, so yeah, you guys went to the UConn BU game together, right? Yeah. And you texted me, you sent me a shot of the scoreboard laughing about the score. I was laughing.
Yeah.
So, okay. What else you got?
I will keep a sharp eye on lines, guys. If you wanted to pick right now, going into Thursday's games, I really like Ohio State and I really like Wisconsin. For those picking the Catholic War, I guess Holy Cross, but it'll.
Yeah, a real question on that. Does BC get roped into that? Because BC's a Catholic school.
They call it the Catholic War between Sacred Heart and Holy Cross.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those names are very religious, but
very religious, but also like skill level, they're pretty equal. Like traditionally, BC kind of just goes and thumps them. But yes, BC very much a Catholic school, 2 churches on campus, 1 for students. 1 I actually learned this past weekend is for the public. You can even get married in it. You don't have to be a BC alum. I thought it was very cool. But yeah, two very large churches on their campus. So, but no, traditionally they aren't lumped in just because of it. It's a men amongst boys typically when they meet. Upsets happen. Don't get me wrong. Upsets absolutely happen. But
all right.
Keep you guys posted. Excited for Thursday action. And to all the soldiers overseas, Private Rose, you in particular, please come home safe.
They're not getting paid after the 15th of October or something.
Nope. They found they got an investor for $140 million.
I think that only goes till like the end of the month.
Don't tell me that, man.
Just do a CRA, Congress, figure it out, man. Good God. Like, figure all this other minutia crap out later. Anyway. Okay. I think that's a good time to end the show. I just want to, I'm glad you shouted out your friend again. Rest in peace, Patrick Megan. Love you, brother.
Love you, Meigs.
That's why I'm repping the Bobby Orr, number 4 Bobby Orr, and I wore the Red Sox hat to begin the show, but my head is too big for it. It was getting too hot. So we'll be back Thursday, 10:30 Eastern, to talk about some of these games. Penn State, Ohio State will be over by then for sure. And Wisconsin, Michigan may still be going, or with Minnesota, Wisconsin may still be going on. Because that's at 8 Central Time, but I think all the other games, the Holy War, BC, Northeastern will be done. So we'll have those games to talk about. Then Mike will get into his picks for the weekend, and we will see you then. I appreciate everybody. I will be putting out some NHL content. Things have been a little bit crazy here. I think the first couple of months just kind of been kind of nuts with some stuff going on. Of course, with Pat passing away and stuff, that was not fun. So I think one of the kids I met though did score or have an assist for UAA, even though they got beat. So and they got beat by St. Cloud. So I appreciate everybody coming out. TikTok, thank you. I think we've capped out at like 53 people on all the platforms. So that's pretty good for us, man, and I really appreciate it. So yeah. Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much and have a great night. Peace.
Cheers, guys.